I really hope this is the last time that I have to address QAnon and how it's fake and gay, so let's go on with the show. I've decided to use pictures because not everyone has an 150 IQ. It's easier to have pictures so that you can understand this very complicated idea. And to make it completely easy for everyone to understand, I'm going to use a very easy to understand metaphor. Imagine for a moment that you live on this street and you're chilling out in your house and you're sitting by the fireplace reading leather-bound books or whatever it is that you do in your home. And you look out the window and you see that your neighbor's house is on fire. And you're like, oh my God, my neighbor's house is on fire. And you say, honey, we need to call the fire department. The neighbor's house is on fire. She says, oh no, it's okay. It's okay because, out on the street, this stranger told me that he called the fire department. And so it's all taken care of. Don't worry about it. And you're like, oh, thank God. I was starting to feel despair there for some reason. But now my morale is much higher. I feel better about the situation. I feel like, I'm going to survive this now, and I can go back to reading my books. And I was a little stressed out there for a second. But now that I know that the fire department is on the way, everything's fine, and nothing to worry about. And then 20 minutes or so goes by, and you haven't heard any sirens. And now, the fire's kind of spread to another neighbor's house. It's not quite to your house yet, but it's getting closer. And so you say, honey, that guy that you said, he called the fire department. Who was it exactly? And she's like, oh, I don't know. It was just, just a stranger. He wouldn't tell me who he was. And said that sometimes he lies because it's necessary. But to definitely don't worry about anything because he's called the fire department. It's all taken care of and we don't have to do anything. So just sit back and relax and don't sweat it. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. And so you're like, okay. That sounds, I guess that sounds normal. I'm going to go back to, read my books and chilling out in my study. And then, another 15 minutes goes by and you're starting to think, it's been over a half hour now. The fire is definitely out of control now. It's kind of engulfed 2 homes. It is definitely getting dangerously close. It feels hot. It's getting a little hot in here. Hey, honey, that the anonymous guy that told you that he called the fire department. Are you sure this is someone we can trust? And she's like, oh yeah, it's fine. It's fine, And in fact, even if he didn't call the fire department, don't you feel better right now thinking that he did? Don't you feel so much better and more upbeat about the situation? Imagine if you thought that he was just lying to us this whole time, and imagine how crappy that would feel, right? Isn't it so much better thinking that he called because that's what's important, right? If we're going to survive this fire, what's important is that we believe that it's being taken care of, right? That our morale is high. That's the most important thing about surviving a fire is, making sure you've got high morale. You try surviving an inferno when you're in a bad mood. That is not good. So, even if he didn't call the fire department, it's totally fine. And of course, that's where we are in the QAnon story. And then, of course, the couple begins praising the fire department. Okay, it's been 35 minutes. It feels like they should have been there by now. Even if that guy didn't call them, at this point, someone should be putting out that fire. and no one's there. So but that's fine. I mean, far be it from them to despair about the fire department not showing up. And I've got something to say about that. If you're going to fall into a pit of despair, paralyzing despair, because you find out that you might have to call the fire department, or oh my God, maybe try to put the fire out yourself, you're a faggot. If that's going to put you into despair, then oh my God, you mean the fire department isn't going to put out because the only people that can put fires out, don't you know, is the fire department. No one else can do it. It has to be the fire department. I mean, if you had to try to figure out how to put a fire out, that's not for you. That's not for you. Instead, what you have to do is just sit in your house, waiting for the fire, patiently waiting as the fire gets closer and closer, and just blather on and on about how awesome the fire department is, and you're not sure what's taking them so long, but you're sure that they have their reasons for it. Maybe they'll put the fire out. Maybe they've got some plan as to maybe there were pedophiles in those houses that are on fire. Maybe that's why the fire department's letting those houses burn down first, because it's the entrance to the underground tunnel where Tom Hanks has his pedophile dungeon. This is all part of their complicated fire management plan. If you were to try to figure out how to put the fire yourself, I mean, you wouldn't know what you were doing. I mean, fire, how complicated fire is? Yeah, who do you think you are? Not a fireman. So I hope that clears things up. That's all I gotta say about this.
A felon, gangster, mafiotic, negroidic, the Black Frank Gelada, a gangster judge, therefore unprosecutable, the blackish, menial, negroidic in appearance and demeanor, felon, vicious, parroting puppet, ex-district attorney, Nassau County, and watch my Frankenstein eyesight television playback of this felonious, lowly, sodomistic display by the felon, sodomist Judge William Sullivan and his lowly felon slut wife during my trial in Nassau County.